Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I just mowed my lawn! I'm a man!
Good for you. And this is Ask Hugo number 52. Today we're here to answer more questions that you asked us on our Discord. Link in the description. Of course, you can always ask us questions here in the comments. Let's proceed.
Slot around. What's the biggest thing you've ever nicked? That's not at all what he sounds like. I've talked to Slaughter several times. I tried to do his voice at the beginning. I ruined it.
Don't say nicked if you don't want us to use a Cockney accent. Anyway, I've actually only stolen one thing in my life.
Yeah?
Have you ever stolen anything? Are you a shoplifter?
No, but
now I know you're not.
Well,
but...
I mean, I got some stories, I guess. I mean, not really personally, although today it's gray.
Okay. When I was a child, a wee lad of maybe 3 or so, I was old enough to be talking ambulatory. I was walking around on my own. Went to a store with my mom.
Ambulatory.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Anyway, we got to the checkout, and
We've
at some
all done
point,
this.
probably
Gum or candy or
it was
something.
a candy thing that literally I was probably fucking with it. It was probably my fault, in fairness. But anyway, it broke open and it spilled all over the floor. It was those fruit candies that you suck on them. Remember what those are?
You filled your pockets?
No, I just put some in my mouth from the floor. I'm a child. Speaking of which, though, in fairness, the other day at D&D, I did pick something off the ground and eat it as well.
It was, okay, so it's very adorable when you watch Hugo try to open packages of anything. He always has a hard time. And it's not because, you're not a big guy, but you're not like a weak, pointless human. You know what I mean? It's just every time.
The fine motor skills. I either way overshoot or way undershoot.
It's almost always an overshoot, but it's really funny when it's an undershoot. But so there was this ice cream sandwich that you got because we eat snacks on Sundays when we play D&D. I mean, you do it. Anytime you hang out with friends, you kind of do that. So you did it, and I just have cement floors downstairs. They're not super dirty, but I mean, we all walk on them all the time, and the dog's down there. You know, it's not super clean either. And where we do our laundry, and you popped it open, and it just goes boo, and it flies out, lands on the floor, and you picked it up, and you go, "Don't act like I'm not going to eat this. We all know what's about to happen." It was great. What a great way to start the session.
Anyway, so what happened was I threw some of those in my mouth as a child. Got to the car. My mom's buckling me into the car seat.
Sure.
Now, you know my mom. Rational human being. Of course, you find your kid. Sorry, I spit in your eye.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
No, it was debris from doing my lawn.
Okay. Rational.
Spit would have felt better.
Rational human being my mother was doesn't just say, "Hey, don't steal," and explain the concept of theft to a child.
Wait, did she like tell you you're going to hell?
Who doesn't understand what you know what I mean? It wasn't a malicious thing. I was like, haha, I'm gonna steal this. I was a kid who didn't know what money is. Anyway, so she takes me back into the store.
Yeah.
Probably takes the manager off. Not probably. She's told me she did this. Took the manager to the side and he's like, "Scare the shit out of my kid." And then he's like, we could send you to jail.
They all do that. What the fuck is it about small... My mom did that to my brother.
For reference, if you're a parent, don't do that to your kids. Your kid, that's just fucking
bad.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bad.
Explain to your kids
to be fair,
why stealing is wrong.
To be fair, that was like... Culturally, in rural white America, telling your children that you're going to have a bad experience with the cops is surprising. I'm serious.
True.
I'm dead serious,
right.
Especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that was like, oh no!
I don't want the police to be upset with me.
Right, they protect and serve. It was before Twitter existed. So, my stealing stories, we'll go with today. Because I don't steal on purpose.
Yeah.
You ever, like, sometimes I had, like, a drink on the bottom of, like, a cart or something. I forgot to ring it up with the self-checkout. I don't think that's stealing, at least not. I mean, it's technically, I think it's effectively stealing, but it's not
malicious. It's an accident. Yeah. You accidentally stole it.
So, I mean, that's happened in most people's lives, especially the self-checkout. But today, I just got my mower delivered today because I didn't have any in the area that I wanted. So I got it delivered, or in the price range I wanted. So, got it delivered, so I needed a gas can because it needs gas to run. That's because it's a machine. And so I go to the store, a place called Meijer over here. It's kind of like a Walmart without the trailer trash. And, well, it is. And so I got a gas can, and when I put it in the cart, it was in the top.
Yeah.
Go to the self-checkout, I start to pay. My girlfriend takes it, and she puts it in the bottom. So when I go to unload everything in the trunk and she goes to sit down, I assume it's in a bag. I just didn't look. I was listening to music and talking, and I didn't look. So both our faults, but I put it just was in the bottom of the cart in the corral. So I drive back here, find out I didn't have it, drive back. It's not in the corral anymore. The carts have been taken. Or if you're in Louisiana, buggy. Stupid. And so instead of going to talk to somebody, I walked into the back of the store, grabbed one, held my receipt in my hand, and walked out. Kind of stealing, but not really because I got the other one back.
And effectively,
it's the exact same thing as theft without the price. Does that make sense? So I was like, fuck that. I'm so done. It's kind of stealing, but they got the other one back, and it was the same exact model. You know what I mean? So it's not.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Bonus story: I had a friend in high school who got caught stealing insulin because she was too poor to afford to live.
Well, you should have saved that because now I have. That was like America, boo. I have a friend.
She got caught, and then they made her pay 10 times the price of the insulin, or they were going to arrest her.
So I had a friend in middle school. We are no longer friends, but that's okay. His mom, who is now deceased, at the time she stole bacon. She stole a thing of bacon and put it in her coat, and they found it. She got arrested at Meyer. Another friend, now this is my favorite theft story, again at Meyer, because that's where we all go around here.
Yeah.
He was like, I want steak. He's like, you want to come to the store with me? I'm like, sure, I'll have steak. Sure. Fuck yeah. Like, free steak. I'm in high school. And he goes in, we have a backpack, and I'm like, why do you have a backpack? He's like, don't worry about it. It's fall. So, the garden center is closed but not locked. This is important. So, he grabs some steaks, he puts them in the backpack, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then our other friend who was there, so this is my friend Jim and his friend Tony, Tony is like, don't worry about it. We got this. And
Steaks aren't super expensive.
No, we were in high school though, and I didn't know I was gonna steal anything when I went there because I didn't, but
I wouldn't ever consider stealing meat.
It wasn't because we needed to.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, so he took the backpack, and there's a little fence in the garden center. You can walk out into the garden center, but when it's closed, the outside you can't walk in from. So he took it, he ran to the back of the garden center, threw the backpack over the fence, and then we walked outside. We bought like drinks. We walked outside, and then he picked up the backpack and we ate steaks.
Quite honestly, that's a fucking really well thought out theft plan.
Yeah. So I couldn't even be mad. It was a decent steak, I guess.
That the garden area is locked now when it's not open though. Like all the time when it's not open.
Yeah, the double doors that slide.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's his fault. I don't know.
That loophole was sealed.
So that's the biggest thing I've ever nicked, which is not a lot because it wasn't me any of those times, was it?
You ate it though.
Yeah, I did.
Is it good?
He's not very good. I'm a much better cook. Quilbert asks Hugo, Dear Hugo and only Hugo, what is your persona and what is Jake's? I respect that. What is,
I'm gonna say, because we talked about this when we were talking to Adam, from your movies, from yourmoviesuck.org. And I was talking about Lola Bunny. Similar vein, I'm gonna be Marvin the Martian-kin. Which I think is just Martian-kin.
That's not a fursona, that's just a costume.
Are you going... If you can articulate to me...
Mm-hmm. It's not furry.
If you can...
Well, yeah, I can. It's not an
There are lizard furries, they're called scalies.
Yeah, it's not an anthropomorphic animal. It's a Martian.
I disagree.
No, you don't get to.
Okay, I'm going blobfish then.
That's fine. I was kind of thinking blobfish. Maybe I'll go... If you go blobfish... I want something with lots of tentacles.
Squid? Octopus?
Not that many.
Cthulhu.
No, I'm going cuttlefish. They're adorable and they can open jars. I can open jars too, so we have that in common.
Isn't that like the super, super poisonous fish too?
Cuttlefish? I don't think so.
Cuttlefish!
Are they poisonous? I know pufferfish are, but that's an actual fish. A cuttlefish is a cephalopod.
I don't know that.
Guys, tell me if cuttlefish are poisonous because they look cute. Teonos! Oh, God. Review for the new Lost in Space series on Netflix
We're never gonna...
at 4:41 a.m. Good for you. I love that at 4:41 you're like, where the fuck is my Lost in Space review?
There's no time we're ever going to talk about Lost in Space again,
Nah.
probably, so I'll just throw a quick review here. You haven't seen it, have you?
No.
I'm not
All
gonna,
I know is the robot has a nice ass.
I'm not going to say, like, you gotta watch this, but if there's ever, like, a period where there's, like, not a lot of shows out and you're just waiting, it's definitely worth checking out. It's a family-friendly sci-fi show. If you're a person who likes movies like Interstellar or The Martian, and you have kids and you want something you can enjoy with all of them, it's really good for that, if that makes sense. If you have a family that enjoys sci-fi and you want something that's not too over the top for kids, not to say it doesn't pull punches. I mean, the kids are always aware they're in danger on the show. I'd put it akin to something like Doctor Who. It's like kids can watch it and enjoy it, adults can watch it and get something out of it. The acting's good, there's some good stars in it, but overall it's not like must-see TV. But it's definitely watchable, and I think you'll enjoy it if you check it out. So
The mom is the good-looking congresswoman that fucked Mahershala Ali on House of Cards.
haven't seen House of Cards.
You ever seen any episodes of House of Cards?
Not gonna now that Frank's gone, so
You should watch House of Cards.
no,
That's really good.
it probably is.
No, I think you'd like it a lot, especially considering it started before the last election cycle and how it's a good show. And any guy he touches in that is all consensual. Clench! Asks Doctors Hugo and Hugor and Jake. One thing, this is a long one, always risen my one thing that has always risen my clench factor. Is that a thing? Does he have like a catchphrase?
His clinch factor.
Did he self catchphrase himself?
Maybe. TM.
You gotta earn this kind of stuff, my guys. All right. In religious debates has been the question of morality and logic of God. Basically, the idea that even if there was a God, I wouldn't follow him because he does bad things, or that the way God goes about things is illegal. The obvious counterpoint being, quote, God works in mysterious ways, end quote. Or the idea that God works on such a different plane of understanding. So, basically, is this debate futile? And is it worthwhile? I'm not going to read the rest of it, but do you agree? Thank you and everyone watching for your time. Yeah, no, we skipped some of it.
No, basically his point was, if you try and wave away the problem of evil with mysterious ways, then basically your entire argument for knowing God in any capacity in your specific religion falls apart. I agree. If something like a child dying in childbirth seems so cut and dry, evil, unnecessary, only makes sense if there isn't a God, basically. If there is a rationale for that I am incapable of understanding because it's so above me
then
or so
wouldn't
godly.
that God be inherently evil for subjecting you to that?
I don't even know if it's that. I'm not saying it's not.
You know what
that,
I mean? Like subjecting you
saying,
to suffering you can't comprehend the gravity of, or reasons for it.
At the very, I know a Christian would say though, well, sometimes you take your dog to the vet and they don't know what's going on and they're scared, but it's for the best.
That's because they don't have empathy and they're fucking dogs.
Dogs have empathy. They don't have logic and understanding.
Well, they barely have empathy. It's like they can only empathize to a certain extent. Like for instance, my dog can empathize by mimic. So the cat wags her tail when she's angry, but he wags his tail when he's happy. So when she wags her tail, he thinks it's time to play, but really she wants him to fuck off.
Yeah.
And if she bats at him while wagging her tail, he thinks I should do that too. So he takes his big fucking paw, goes, Poof. And he gets along with her, but she doesn't get along with him a ton of the time because there's a misinterpretation there. So dogs are stupid, but we don't deserve them. They're lovely.
Anyway, at the very least, I'm saying if my frame of reference and God's frame of reference are so different that we can both look at a dead child and think totally different things, then there's no way our understandings could ever be in a way that would make an organized religion justifiably... what's the word I'm looking for? Justifiably...
Argued for?
Communicated, proven to be what God is saying for you to do.
Right, like if God says, any of God's commandments, if we so easily misinterpret struggle and death and suffering, how is it, even if he uses the same language, he's so far beyond us? You could interpret it literally however you'd like to,
not to mention
and call it correct.
Not to mention many people have, and that's how the history of
right.
the Bible
That's what I
came
mean.
together. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are Christians on either side of this. There are Christians that say sin and cancer. Let's say for cancer kid, that's due to sin. That's due to you and me and maybe the kid, and it's a deserved fate.
Sure.
While that puts a bad taste in my mouth, that's at least their argument. It's a deserved fate. I think that lines up more with Christianity than
internally consistent.
Then God works in mysterious ways.
I would agree.
Because at least there's precedent for the God to be like, yeah, fuck you, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not necessarily a God of love. It's a God that requires you to love.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know. However you want to get around it. But regardless, I find the entire system illogical. Just like if you just look at the problem of evil, I could talk about the problem of evil in a video for 2 hours because it's so complex. We used to talk a lot with this guy who did the problem of non-God objects, and then it worked with the problem of evil as well, and he used apes who are capable of empathy and are capable of society and communication and suffering, real suffering, emotional and physical. And how there are some groups of apes, specifically chimpanzees, that like rape and kill.
Yeah.
And that is real suffering, but it serves no purpose because it's not for mating. It's just their nature.
Chimps also war over
right.
War's a
they beat each other.
It's a hyperbolic term, but they will get into groups and have various groups, and they will fight over territory and stuff like that.
Right.
Well,
and so it's just it's hard to argue with a Christian about this as well, or honestly any believer of any faith. Usually, they don't want to hear it because it really is probably the one thing people struggle with most when it comes to reconciliation with their faith, specifically when it happens to them usually. But, Bonsai Giraffes. I love that name. Dear Hugo and Jake, what are your opinions on the Amish? Huh, that's pretty broad.
At the risk of offending our many Amish fans.
Not a huge fan?
Not a fan of the Amish.
No, weird. Is it because they're a strict religious sect?
Yeah.
Oh!
Also,
they make great benches, though.
Who intentionally make sure that their children are not capable of succeeding in the actual world so they can keep them in their creepy, weird Dutch Virginia fucking cults.
It's really easy to look at Amish from the outside and go, oh, that's charming.
It's not.
It's not charming. It's fucking abusive by nature. Like,
it really is.
It's, not to sound too, libtard cuck, but it is very patriarchal, in nature.
It is.
And, I mean, it is. And, I think most people can agree that I think, equality or attempts at equality, at least equality of choice and opportunity, for not only the sexes but whatever your demographic may be, is ideal.
Yes.
And that is not what the Amish have. Beyond that, you mentioned the child abuse, but goddamn the chairs! Their honey is good.
Yeah.
They're really good at keeping bees.
You know why they're good
corn cob ovens?
You know why they're good at all those things?
Because they don't do.
They got fucking nothing going on.
Because they farm and also Mennonites. They're the worst of the bunch. You know why? Mennonites are just Amish people that have vans and cell phones. Yeah. It's the same exact shit. It's bullshit, and you should feel bad if you're a Mennonite and watching this on your flip phone.
You think Mennonites are like Amish?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They think they're
taking it too far, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Only this far.
Yeah. We'll wear fucking pastel colors, and my women know their place.
Of course zippers are the work of the devil, but I mean, have you seen the new iPhone?
Springer, more like trip to the store in my real van. They're not very witty.
You can take meth all you want when you're a Mennonite, not just on Springer.
Jesus Christ. Sir Chacha, like Sriracha, but Sir Chacha. Dear Hugo and Jake, last episode, Hugo made another reference to Red Letter Media I don't know when this was. 426. So
I do it all the time.
Yeah. Have you guys ever got a hold of them or vice versa? Since I know Rich is a fan, to do a BOTW.
Best of the worst.
Best of the worst. Oh, I was thinking about our show.
Yeah.
I was like, we don't do anything called that. Breath of the Wild.
They've already made that joke. I've talked to Jack briefly, and I know Rich.
Oh, Jack.
Oh, don't say that. Jack's a really nice guy.
I just like to.
And I know Rich is aware of us specifically. I don't think this will ever happen, but honestly, my ideal YouTube crossover would be doing a best of the worst with those guys and bringing, like, our favorite bad religious films. Ugh. Rich, if you're watching this...
Hey, we live in Michigan. Wisconsin's real close.
Sell this to Mike using these words. I will bring him beer and something Star Trek related.
I will also, but probably better beer.
There you go.
Yeah.
And tell Jay I'll bring him some weird
What's Jay like?
art house film.
I was gonna say, what's Jay like? Just fucking French films?
Nah, just like really weird ones. He likes the weird stuff. We can tell Jay I'll talk about Society with him. I also enjoy the film Society.
I thought you meant like Society.
No, have you seen the film Society?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's a film which this guy, he believes his mother, his father, and his sister are trying to get him into an orgy with them. And he is correct. Amazon Prime! Stick with it till the end. You won't regret it.
Is it an American film? Also, is there an orgy at the end?
It is an American film, and by God...
Is it libertarian in nature?
At the end, I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a flesh orgy, and it's wonderful.
That sounds like a spoiler.
Believe it or not, it's not.
Oh, okay. Ice Lord 1823. I'm just going to skip forward. Dear YouTubers formerly known as Hugo and Jake, what do you think would happen to the U.S. if the Trump's environmental policies stayed in effect past his presidency?
I don't want to talk about Trump at length, but basically I think if his...
Let's not talk about Trump.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Republican Party.
Okay. If the Republican Party continues with its current stance on climate change, that stance being la 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 la,
you'll be tweeting this from underwater, Ice Lord.
No, I don't think that's what's going to happen. At some point, it's going to get to the point where the rest of the world is just going to say, fuck you, U.S., we're going to sanction the balls out of you until you get with the fucking program and realize reality is not subject to your political views.
Do you know what? That's amazing because, like, the view from the Republicans is, the rest of the world is irrelevant. U.S. will run this shit.
You know the thing?
But like Europe, specifically France right now, they're like, and even fucking China is like, nah, we should probably still live on this planet in 100 years.
Yeah, especially, again, I don't want to get into a ton of stuff, but especially after Trump violated the Iran
deal. Republicans.
Sure, after the Republicans, headed by a Republican executive officer, decided to...
If you don't utter his name, you don't have to get stressed out about it.
Sure. Decided to break the Iran deal, which basically just says to me, it signals to other countries the United States isn't worth shit as far as agreements are concerned.
Yeah, at least not for another 2.5 years.
Anyway, but that's the thing. It's subject to whoever the fuck is in charge. It makes us seem wishy-washy. And don't say, well, then Obama should have gone through Congress to get that deal done. He wanted to. The Republican Congress wouldn't let him, so he did it anyway. And it's been working. That's why Trump didn't like it. Anyway, so...
the Republican executive officer.
Yeah. So, as we continue, and the Republican executive officer continues to show the world that we are becoming an isolationist, like, don't,
Rio.
Whatever. It's showing the rest of the world that they don't really need the United States as much as maybe the United States likes other countries to think they do.
The Republican parts of the United States.
So,
I can assure you, the liberals... And even from the moderates left, whatever our furthest left, and then moderate, the rest of us don't think you need us. For the record, we think we want to coexist with you. Honestly, I know that you guys probably, if you're overseas, wherever, or just above or below us. I'm sorry, by the way. We're probably coming in there soon. Like the rest of us don't have this like U.S. is better than you superiority thing. Like, there's some stuff that just, like, geographically the U.S. does have over smaller countries. like the resources and just the often the diversity is a lot, but even that's changing because the world's getting smaller based on travel and stuff, and just how people interact with each other. Like I think the best thing we got over most of the country is guns, and I don't even like that.
Yeah.
So like, or the rest of the countries.
The only positive thing, I mean, the country's going to end up hurting, I think, because of this.
Gas prices are going to be ridiculous this summer.
And we're going to get
Highest
slapped
since
with a lot of
Bush.
shit. I cannot wait for the Republicans to get slapped in the face by the rest of the world and just be like, fuck off, we don't need you.
They're the most unreasonable political party that I know of right now, besides like a Hamas or a... But even then, Hamas is needed to fight fucking ISIS. You know what I mean? It needs to be a thing so that, ISIS doesn't smash into Beirut and Lebanon. Like even the bad guys have uses somewhere. Our bad guys have no fucking point.
No, they have a point. They're making a lot of money for rich people.
No, but for what? No, but I mean, like, what's the use?
So Trump's P-tape doesn't come out.
If there's a fucking P-tape, I'm gonna jack off to it. I'm not even into that. I want Trump on camera just being like, yeah, pee on that bed, and I'm gonna force one out on it. I have to, for America. Is that the last one?
Is it? I don't know.
Is that really the last one?
I got
That's
7, I think.
That's it. That's all she wrote.
All right, so that's it for this episode of Ask Hugo. As always, you can always ask me more questions in the comments or go to our Discord, link in the description.
Why did we end on a sad one?
I don't know. You wanna find another question or just ask a question?
I'm gonna. Okay. Maybe I can ask a question. I'm gonna look at Twitter real quick to see if there's any question.
Okay, movie magic.
No, don't movie magic. Okay, how much does this guy look like me if I had meth problems? A decent amount, right?
Is that not you from the future?
It's not. But I'm saving that picture. Yes. Can you see this?
Doesn't meth make you skinnier, not fatter?
Depends on how you do it. Maybe you can binge eat while you do meth.
You get the high-calorie meth. Anyway.
Is there high-calorie meth?
You know, the McMeth.
That's just McDonald's. That guy's... Hold on. I can also be in frame. And then pretend I'm retarded. And I put... No? Okay. What's space hoax? Also, I don't wear hats. That's never going to happen. Meth or not, I don't wear hats.
Anyway. You can also follow us, did we say the Twitters?
Papa Bird Jake?
Hugo Reloaded. You can follow Jake on Twitch at twitch.tv/actualjake. That's where we do the weekly podcast, The Tangent.
Indeedly do.
Where we talk about tons of stuff. And you can also follow me at twitch.tv/Hugo Reloaded. Discord. Already said that.
When's the last time you mowed a lawn? There we go. Did you mow it today?
No, I'm going to do it Saturday.
Okay, so before Saturday, when's the last time?
Probably 7 or 8 years.
Yeah. That's what I thought. That's my question.
Okay.
So enjoy it. I find it very satisfying.
No, I actually was raking the other day and just listening to music. It was actually kind of relaxing. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I like that shit.
Yeah.
We're old men now.
And then a giant fucking centipede was in the leaves. And
Is
I
it
was
a
like,
millipede or a centipede?
it was a big one.
I don't know. They scare me.
Yeah. Aren't they poisonous or something?
Hmm.
They put them in some dude's butt in Human Centipede too, so.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of on the nose, isn't it?
You clearly haven't seen Human Centipede 2.
I've seen number 1. I don't think I saw 2.
Number 2's better, actually.
What?
As far as, like,
No.
as far as... Because the first one's like, I am a German science... Like, the second one's actually like...
Yeah, but the first one was like... I thought it was intentionally over the top.
The second one's actually about a guy who watches the first movie.
Yeah, doesn't he have, like, autism really bad?
Yeah, and but it's like, it's not, like, hammy. It's just, like...
Is it creepy?
Disgusting. And, like, this is, like, an actual crazy person...
I thought the first guy was creepy too. You ever see Hostel? Underrated horror movie.
I've seen Hostel.
The first one, not the second one. The first one actually, I think, is pretty good.
I've seen Hostel, I think, like 3 or 4.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Direct to DVD. They go to it's a rich...
Eli Roth,
I know.
first one.
I've seen.
That's the best one. Just go watch that one. There's a poor young Asian woman that gets her eye blowtorched.
and then never another Eli Roth movie ever again.
Is that the last? No, he was. I mean, he acts. No. That's not 2. He did that one movie. What's it called? Green something. He did that movie where there was a bunch of cannibals on an island. Was that him? It was a movie he was trying to get done for ages.
I heard it sucked.
It probably sucked.
I heard it was I heard it was a shittier cannibal holocaust.
Yeah, probably. And also, he was the bear Jew, and
Yeah, he didn't direct that movie though.
well, who cares? It's an Eli Roth movie. You go for Eli Roth and no one else.
That's okay. That's a joke. Anyway, PO Box, Patreon.
Figure it out.
Okay, see you guys next time.